Welcome, everybody, to the 2021 Las Vegas Challenge presented by Innova Champion Discs. This is the final round coverage of the front nine. I am Brian Earhart, joined here yet again by my co-host Nate Perkins. Nate, we're coming back to the Innova course.
What a tournament it's been, Brian.
Yeah, the conditions have gone up and down. We've had no wind, we've had crazy wind, we've had consistent wind, kind of a varied tournament. Good weather overall, but the conditions have changed every single day, so the players have had to bring it each and every time they step out to these courses.
And we've noticed a theme here. The players with more speed off the tee pad are rising to the top in these windy conditions. Round 4 was the windiest round of them all, headed back to the Innova course.
And something to note about this Innova course, hard crosswind the entire round. The front nine usually plays down in one direction and the back nine comes back in another direction.
29 under par. We have Ezra, Aderhold.
And Ezra Aderhold has made a splash.
Absolutely, Brian.
And talking about speed, Ezra's game plan out here is so consistent and based on this shot right here. 45 degrees of hyzer.
And that's a 9-speed disc. Raptor. So casual.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had ripping left to right tailwind on this hole right here. That sidewalk is out of bounds right. If you expose it on any kind of anhyzer, it's going to push it right over that sidewalk. And James is actually going putter here on this 390-foot par 3.
Hard out of the hand. There's that crosswind shoving it. Almost got the slide
Just
up
a
to
little
the basket.
low.
And Drew is throwing still a mixed bag and has new putters this season that he's been working with. So I'm interested to see what he's pulling out here. This pink one, I believe, is a destroyer.
Look at that wind. Just hold that disc out wide. Not going to let it come back. No way.
And path skip, that's going to
back.
come back. Nope.
Wow, it just held it out to the right. He can't believe it.
It's a tough play on those mounds on the right side. It's a very committed choice to throw that shot. And Clint playing a solid round in round 3. Again, we noticed he's just a very consistent, smooth, spinny thrower that loves that little hyzer stand up to flat. I like that.
Looks a little early.
Just outside circle 1. Just off the top.
That's a really safe putt to be able to
Yes.
run, though, that uphill into the tailwind. Ooh, gets it left side. Great start. Circle's edge putt with that ripping tailwind.
Oh, yeah.
So hard to know how much it's going to drop, and this is a really uncomfortable putt right here. Ton of airspace behind the chains.
Solid putt from Drew. A little bit more spin, nose up on it.
Wow, interesting spot right there. That's
Yeah.
where his disc went out of bounds, right there, pin high. Hard to really tell from our initial angle, though.
And yet, you really were not getting pure tailwind or pure headwind on any of these holes, it felt like. It felt always left to right or right to left, which are very challenging winds to fight. Hole number 2, short par 3. Again, left to right, hard crosswind. The angle is very specific to park this basket.
Yeah, that left to right wind doesn't help with the shot that you need on this hole, because you kind of want something to flip up and move back to the left.
And Ezra trying to slide that one up there with a putter. I think that's a roach that he's throwing.
And there's enough wind during this final round that it kind of takes that high shot out of it.
Yes.
This is a reactor.
I love that shot. Not too bad, about 25.
That's a common result, hitting that
Yeah.
pine and just dropping straight down.
Is this a buzz out of Drew?
It looked like a buzz.
Yeah. Looks like a
Just
little
that
bit more
pearly
stable
plastic.
one, yeah. Ooh, a little turn out of the hand.
Thank you.
Yes. I feel like this hole, the shape of this hole, is very good for Clint's throwing. Little hyzer out of the hand, little stand up.
Thank you.
Nice shot.
Hard to tell how far that one was, Brian. Definitely outside the circle. Jams it.
Yeah, that was about 40, 45 feet. And again, we've mentioned this in previous rounds. We've seen him. That's a distance that we've routinely seen him hit putts from. He's got that timing on the step putt dialed in.
Consistent setup every time. The
Yes.
routine is very similar.
Here's Drew with his Penrose, his new putter.
I noticed that Drew has now dropped his pointer finger underneath the rim.
Yeah, I noticed that as well. Kind of helping that pitch putt release that he kind of has. The weakest of weak side putts. James picks up another birdie.
That one balanced on the rim for a minute.
Moves him to 29 under par.
Thanks for watching, guys. I want to thank Discraft for making some sick discs. Obviously, they flew great. And if you guys want to follow me on social media, Instagram and YouTube, that'd be great. My username for Instagram is Ezra_Aderhold, and my YouTube is just my name. So, thanks.
All right, hole 3, par 3, 270 feet, ripping left to right wind. It makes that hyzer really hard to get back and around that tree to the pin. We've got an elevated bucket here, and we want to be close with how windy it is.
Yes.
There's that hyzer. Can it get back? That wind really likes to push them across
Yes.
that sidewalk. That is extremely well done in the wind. Wow.
Yeah, the thing to always take into account when you have these types of crosswinds is how the wind deadens the distance that the disc is going to be skipping, but it does give you that headwind putt, so you still want to be pushing that disc more left than you'd think. And Drew looks like
Looks like a
Yeah.
faster disc.
kind of gummy, it looked like in his hands.
Playing for the 2 skipper here.
Looks to be good. Oh, he
Just a
caught
little
that
bit early.
last bit of the tree. And he was trying to do what I was just mentioning. It looked like he was really trying to push that disc still left of the basket to give himself a tailwind putt on that raised basket. But just couldn't cut it.
And this is one of the most exposed holes
Yeah.
out here.
A little bit more direct route from
Needs to
Clint.
beat it. Oh, it's too early.
He might. No, looks like he did
that's
kick
early.
out of bounds.
This is a tricky approach right here, and you really want to get this one close. Straight into a tailwind. Oh, no.
No.
Oh, he's going to have 20 feet left for a 5. I got to think Drew's laying this one up. This is into a
This is not
ripping
favorable.
headwind left to right. Yeah, look at that flag.
He's thinking.
Yeah.
There's the decision. There's
I
the
mean,
Gulf.
If you expose it on hyzer at all, it could pick it up and bring it backwards
Even
into the
1
water.
degree.
Yeah.
1 degree off. And tough double bogey 5 for Clint.
It's a good putt, though.
Yeah.
It could get bad really quick. This is probably the distance where, you know, he's feeling comfortable about running it. There's no chance he's going to lay up from this distance, but it's still a tester in this wind.
Yes. Luckily, James and Clint, for that matter, also have that kind of wristy spin putt. So this is where that style shines, is in these windy conditions. Drew and Ezra kind of have to change their release a little bit if the wind picks up in the wrong direction. And there's another birdie for Ezra.
Great start.
He's 3 in a row again. He did shoot 16 under par out here in round 2.
I mean, in these conditions, this chase card, all these players are in it.
Yes. That's kind of the only thing you have to worry about. Is you're probably taking a neutral disc, but you just have to get over on it a little bit to get carried before it fades out. James looks like he's also going mid-range.
Yeah, that's that reactor. Probably going to start this one out with a little bit of Anheuser out of the hand.
Yeah.
Just needs it to hold it. Oh, now that tailwind really
Yeah,
stables
wow.
these discs out early.
And I'd be hard-pressed to believe that it's not just tailwind, it's a tail right to left, which is fading wind.
Yeah. It's hard not to break it over too much to the right. Got to find that happy medium.
There's
That's
a
what
correction from Drew.
Oh, and Drew going flex on it. Kind of like that play.
Yeah.
Something stable, forcing it over out to the right and swinging it back in. It's got to be something neutral, like an Explorer from Clint. That looks
Yes.
fantastic.
Perfect shot.
Oh,
Those metal foundations are scary, no matter where you play,
yeah, that could roll 100 feet down
especially
the hill.
at this course.
It's not worth it.
And this is a death putt.
Oh, yeah.
Sidewalk's only 25 feet behind the bucket. Fast, sloping green.
And luckily, he's stuck on that putting surface. Look how sloped that green is. If you're hitting the bin on any hyzer, there's a strong chance you're rolling away. So Drew's going to escape with a 3. And you know, we've been hearing stories all week from the players talking about hitting the bin and rolling 70 feet out of bounds, and this is not even once or twice. I've been hearing this all weekend, especially with how, you know, gusty these winds are.
Hole 5, par 4, 606 feet. Sidewalk is early right. A lot of these players are playing on that right side, trying to keep it low underneath that middle pine tree. That looked a little wide from Clint. I couldn't quite tell. Ezra going Raptor. That's
a conservative play from him.
That is very conservative. If I remember correctly, it was like a ripping right to left.
It was a left to right.
Left to right.
At this point in the day, it was a left to right. And I think what Ezra is trying to do with his, as James puts his to a good spot, I think Ezra wants to go Raptor. I think.
Oh, Raptor into the green, huh?
Yeah. Because you have that left to right that deadens the skip, it allows you to throw something faster and more comfortable. And Drew has put a move on this one.
What a shot. And the wind even helped it like flex out further. He's going putter into the green from there. This was an extremely tough birdie during this final round. I mean, it's hard to really tell how windy it is. No. Keep going. No, that's worst case. Right in the middle of the green. Rocky start from Clint.
Yep, and there's Raptor from...
That
Oh, maybe
looks
Malta.
Like, it looks like the mid-range. This one's can be really tough to control the distance. You do have OB right behind the basket.
Great shot from Ezra.
Control.
Raptor, Malta, birdie.
Little inside release from Conrad.
A little bit short there from Drew, and he's going to have a headwind putt from about 20. Sit down.
Oh, so fortunate to not roll out the back.
Beautiful birdie putt there from James. And he's gotten 3 out of the last 5. Oh, this is maybe longer than 20 feet.
Yeah, straight at the sidewalk.
That is a fantastic putt from Drew Gibson.
He seemed very comfortable right there.
Yeah. I actually had played with him in the round prior, and he had mentioned that these putters were better than anything he's ever gotten to putt with before. Great putt there from Clint.
Cool. I've actually never heard of the company until...
Brand new company, EV7, and I'm not entirely sure what their full business model is. I know Drew is involved, but he is extremely pleased with the product they've put out, and I was impressed with his putting.
Yeah, that's really been the only thing holding him back from more titles.
And he has said that himself.
The man can throw the disc.
Number 6, 222-foot par 3. The wind here is actually in a decent spot. It was more dead than you'd think. And actually, for them...
Was it dead for you? It might have been the hardest hole I've played in my life.
Wow.
When I played it. It was 35 mile per hour right to left wind.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to be eating my words on this one and say that our card got lucky on this hole. Because this is ripping.
It's like white capping the pond right there.
And you saw James trying to fight that crosswind with Anheuser, but just didn't quite get enough on it.
Most of the time, these players are throwing hyzer into the green, but with that wind, if you expose it at all, it's going to push it way left across. And
yeah, wow.
That's good touch, but that's a tough headwind putt toward the water right there. Slow down. Slow down. What a shot.
It's not that windy out there, guys.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be eating my words on this one. This looks really gusty.
Ezra was safe right there. I was not aware. And Drew has a decision to make right here. This is absolute death putt.
Just low. You're just hoping to hit metal at that point.
You have to.
You have to hit some sort of metal, preferably the cage. But that's the tough part about these types of putts. You have to run for the make, and that requires full commitment.
No.
And a shake of disgust from James Conrad. Weak side left for Clint. He'll settle for a par. James just looking for where his disc went out.
Those misses hurt so bad. You work so hard to get yourself to this point. Chase card, chasing down leaders, and that costs you 2 strokes right there.
And
if he makes
the
this.
putter.
Yeah. His main putter gone.
It's going to be a bogey for James.
Thanks so much to Gatekeeper Media for filming today. If you want to support what I'm doing or follow what I'm doing, you can follow me on James_Conrad_III on Instagram, or you can go to jamesconraddiscgolf.com to get some JC gear.
All right, hole 7, par 4, 432 feet. This hole was playing into a stiff wind, 25 mile per hour plus, headwind left to right. Ezra is still going 45-degree hyzer with something stable.
Yeah, that's going to be a nuke from Ezra. This thing is crunched. Sit down.
That has to roll out the...
Safe.
Is he green, Brian?
I think
How
he's
does
stuck.
that stick right there?
I think he probably hit that kind of sandy gravel behind the hill that you see kind of scattered across this course. That is a fortunate break for Ezra after about a 480-foot hyzer. And you know Drew is trying to go for this eagle as well.
This hole is so daunting with no wind. With the wind that we had during the final round, it was one of the more difficult holes all weekend.
Power hyzer out of Drew's hand.
That's a stable disc. Oh,
Sit.
what a shot. Run it
Parked
back.
for eagle.
Oh my goodness, Drew Gibson.
Clint, I think he is.
Wow, look at that, just flipping up late in the
Yeah.
flight on hyzer like that.
Sit down. Yes.
No way, the wind just kept it from going in the sand
What
trap.
a shot from Clint.
We've got 3 greens. There's that panic.
James going turn out of the hand, but that thing is checking up. Sit down. James will be in the sand trap,
That's okay. Honestly,
putting for birdie.
that's nothing wrong with that at all. Wow, I can't believe he's stuck right there. It's so hard to do that.
Yeah.
It's so sloped. Nothing but air behind the chains.
Great putt from James. That is a solid play. And that's the scary part about landing in these bunkers if you go for the eagle is you don't always have a perfect look at the basket, and you are looking directly at the other bunker.
And you're exposing the disc to
Yes.
the wind. I mean, that's what separates. That's why these players are on the chase card right there. That right there. That's what separates 30th place from 10th place is getting it in the basket on that steep of an angle.
And casually, Clint Calvin drops in a nice eagle Drew also snags an eagle after 2 beautiful drives, and we move into number 8, 427 feet. This one, for a righty backhand player, was tough.
Right to the left.
And we don't have any except for Ezra. He might be throwing a power flick on this one depending on the wind. It's got to have a slight late turn out of the hand.
And if it's nose up at all, it's going to get shoved left over the sidewalk out of bounds.
And Drew trying to put turn on that, just didn't get the height that he wanted. And he's laughing at himself.
He
It's a
might
tough
be
shot.
laughing at the reaction of the wind just completely ruining that disc right there.
Ooh, Clint might be throwing a little hyzer flip out of the hand in this wind. I like that.
Oh, and you
Wow.
can see it just completely break that disc over.
And this green is probably the slickest green on the whole course.
Oh, Ezra is going forehand here.
I think that's a nuke. Nice and low. It's
Wow.
lifting with the crosswind. Wow.
Even that came up short.
I'm almost having trouble finding out what shape will get to the basket in this wind.
Right, this is about as elite as it gets in this wind.
That almost felt like too much turn out of the hand for James, too. Wow. Sit
Slow down.
Oh, no.
Wow, that really carried long.
You know, we are talking and almost laughing at how hard this hole is playing. This was the hardest hole of the day. Averaged almost a full half stroke over par to 3.49. And it's
Makes
this
sense.
green. It's so slick. So if you have to throw an upshot, getting it to stick next to this basket's actually really hard. And this is Clint after going long out of bounds. Great putt.
Solid stroke.
There's a lot of things that wrong.
Hole 9, par 4, 601 feet. We do have a gap that you need to hit right off the tee. Anything out in the open, you can get up to the pin. There is hazard right behind the basket.
This
Ripping
card-
tailwind? Tailwind left
Something
to right?
along the lines of
Mhm.
that, and this card is going to probably make some runs at eagle here. Destroyer out of Drew's hand.
That is such a good angle. Has the speed. Wind is carrying it. That's way up there.
Yeah.
Not quite a putt.
This hole was made for Ezra. And pumps it.
Keep flipping.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Right up there with Drew. Those are impressive shots.
And that's the thing with these like 600-foot par fours now on the Pro Tour. If there's not enough danger, there's jump putts coming into the green, you know, for a lot of these players that we're
Yeah.
starting to have on the road.
yeah, there used to just be a handful. Now there's
Yeah.
2 dozen, 3 dozen players that are pumping it out there that far.
And then how many of them have that chip shot, overstable approach disc shot? You know, it's making a lot of these holes very simple. Oh, and
Oh, what a
Clint got a
correction.
nice reaction.
Yeah, that's really the unforgivable miss is turning it over into the pines on the right. It makes it a very difficult approach from there. So good to see that reaction off the tree.
Going straight at it with a putter. Sit
Slow down.
Yes, nice
Wow,
shot.
high level shot into the headwind right there.
Yep.
It is not easy to get it that close. I mean, the wind is still ripping 20 plus. You have the hazard only 8 feet behind the basket. Just kissing the zone.
Yeah.
Just
That's what I'm
right
saying.
into the
you know,
ground.
and that was from his drive. That was his approach shot on this par 4.
Wow,
Great
we're
shot
gonna
there
have
from
a
Drew.
star frame. I know this is probably playing as one of the easier holes, but this is
Yeah.
still impressive.
Yeah, solid putt there from Clint, and the rest of them are pretty much drop-ins here. And that's going to be a star frame on hole 9, and that's going to wrap up our front 9 coverage. Ezra Aderhold is a clean 600 par with Drew and James right behind him. Clint just had a couple blemishes, but made up for it with an eagle. We have a lot more scoring to happen here.
Wow.
And as you can see, Eagle McMahon is
7 on the front.
tearing it up
He's got
and not looking back.
5 strokes with 9 holes to go.
We will catch you on the back 9. Thank you for tuning in. Subscribe to Gatekeeper Media on YouTube.